welcome from the Tech.AD 2019 here in Berlin. My name is Suzanne and I'm here with Allan Benchetrit, CEO of Algolux. Welcome to the conference and thanks for taking the time for this little interview. Could you briefly introduce yourself and give us a few insights into your professional background at first?
My name is Allan Benchetrit. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Algolux. We are a Montreal-based company. We're doing computational imaging in the area of autonomous vision. Autonomous vision is essentially bringing scalability and robustness to vision systems, which is, of course, a dire problem today as we move towards ADAS and autonomous vehicles. In terms of my background, this is my second founded startup. Previously to this, I founded a mobile video company, mobile video infrastructure called Vantrix. And before that, I basically was in the corporate world at HP and Oracle.
In your opinion, what are the big hurdles towards autonomous driving that needs to be suppressed by different stakeholders?
I can't speak to everything, but certainly in the areas that we're working in, I think that a robust vision is certainly a very important one. Cameras are by far and away the most deployed type of sensor in cars today, and certainly will continue to be the case going forward. The need for other types of sensors, whether it be LiDAR or radar, is tied to the fact that cameras cannot do very well in all types of conditions. If they could, they would certainly be deployed on their own because they're small, they're very easy to integrate, they're not very expensive. Unfortunately, they do have shortcomings. And because of that, it's important to be able to provide them with enhanced capabilities. And one of the main ways to do that is to actually enable them to provide much better, I would say, perception and precision when it comes to low light. Or what's otherwise called as corner cases, which we deal with every day. We look outside today, it's raining, we might have snow, we might have low light. These are things that we can basically help do. The next step to that, of course, is being able to do early sensor fusion. So basically moving from a camera-only environment to an environment where we will also have LiDAR and radar. And our technology, which is based on artificial intelligence, basically helps us take a very, I would say, accelerated step forward in being able to do early sensor fusion.
How can the solutions from Algolux help OEMs to solve these problems?
Everything that we're doing is in fact for the OEMs. So whether we're working a little bit lower down in the supply chain with the component vendors, the tier 2s, the folks that are actually making the sensors or the image signal processors, or working with the system integrators, the tier 1s, or directly with the OEMs, we feel that everything that we're working on as a company is related to, number one, bringing safety to the market and doing so as quickly and as cost efficiently as possible. These are items that I think the entire industry is struggling with right now. So the fact that we are applying some very novel artificial intelligence capabilities to basically help solve these problems is going to certainly help the OEMs and really help the whole ecosystem from our perspective.
Which role is the driver going to play in the future in regards to driver-vehicle interaction?
Well, that's a really good question. From our perspective, we're not necessarily looking so far down the road that we are focused on level 5. I think that there are some very fundamental problems and challenges with level 2 and level 3, and I think that those are the things that we feel that we can have an immediate impact on right now. In those cases, I think the driver is still going to play a very important role, but will certainly be helped, assisted very significantly by the technology that we're bringing to market, making for a much safer environment than the one that they find themselves in today.
Can you give some examples how the industry can encourage adoption?
Sure. I think that one of the things that we're seeing is that the ecosystem, the traditional ecosystem in automotive is actually changing quite dramatically. I think that the traditional players, whether it's the tier 2s, the tier 1s, or the OEMs, are recognizing the fact that they can't do it all themselves. And so I think that one of the big changes that we've seen over the last few years is that there is a much greater collaboration and openness to working with smaller, innovative companies to test new technologies and to see ways to actually incorporate those technologies, if they work, into the ecosystem. Whereas I think, traditionally the tier 2s and the tier 1s would have worked hand in hand to bring technologies to the OEMs. We're seeing all parts of the ecosystem want to work directly with us to actually test the technology, validate it for themselves, and then from there figure out, who the best companies might be to actually help us bring the technology to market.
So what is your perspective for 2040?
For 2040, we don't have a perspective for 2040. We're much more concerned with 2019 and 2020. If in 2020, there is going to be the adoption of industry standards around image quality and computer vision for safety standards. As a small company, that's really where our focus is right now, is to making sure that we can get to 2020, bring these safety standards to market so that we can ensure that we will be able to get to 2040 eventually.
All right. Thank you for taking the time for this interview and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.